Hi y'all, welcome back to Mike Peace Woodturning. I want to share with you my initial thoughts on this brand new Record Power Victory Professional Geared Scroll Chuck and its accompanying Versalock jaw system that I just got in the mail today. I want to be real clear, Record Power is not paying me to do this video. They're not sponsoring this video, but I want to be transparent with you. They did send me this, this chuck and jaw set that I'm going to be looking at free of charge. I plan to do a more in-depth review after I have enough time to actually use the chuck and its jaws on a number of different projects. So starting off, they've got a very nice packaging system. I tend to discount that on products because it's kind of a marketing thing in my mind, but it is very nicely packaged. So it comes with a Victory sticker to put on my lathe or elsewhere. Comes with a nice cloth to wipe it down. And I'm opening this and going through it for the first time. It's got its Allen chuck key, very similar to the SE4 chuck. It's got an Allen key to put in the screws with a very nice handle on it. This is much nicer. And actually these are torque screws, so I think they're going to be stronger than the regular Allen ones. Let me pull the chuck out and open it up. It comes with a rubber band to cover the edges of the chuck jaws. I've got to wipe it off. I'll do that in a moment. And let's keep digging down. Okay, here's the Torx screw set. And then we've got the woodworm screw. Let's keep digging down. We've got the set of, I think what they call Versalock base jaws. They've got kind of it's a deep set of jaws for longer tenons or I guess projects that don't have a tenon on it. They're putting in square. But it looks like a unique fastening system, this Versalock system, and we'll explore that in a little more detail. It also comes with a faceplate ring. And I can tell you, faceplate rings are not something I use a lot, but I tell you where they're really handy, and they're much nicer than a faceplate. If you've got a really heavy blank that you're putting up on the lathe, and you're trying to screw a faceplate on there, let me tell you, it's tough, and it's easy to cross-thread or damage those threads. But when you have this faceplate ring, because I have used these in the past, all you got to do is get it up over the chuck jaws, and then the weight will hang there as you tighten them up. So it could be a very nice feature for folks doing very large projects. This chuck, very similar to its SC4, which I'll pull out in a minute when we look at the size, has this very nice scroll wrench, which is a really nice, easy way for it to get off. It's direct threaded, which I like. It doesn't require an insert, which means less run out, and it also saves about $20, which is great for people that know what size they're going to have. They're on, like me, on a full-size lathe. They're not going to ever need a different chuck jaw size. This works very well. I can't help but mentally do some comparisons between the new chuck and their standard SC4 chuck, which I really like, which appears to be about the same size. I do like the torque screws because I do think they can snug in easier with less stripping. It does come with a set screw and a small Allen wrench that if you want to lock this onto your spindle chuck, so if you do reverse sanding or reverse turning, it can't come loose. And that's just your standard Allen set screw, along with a little red washer to keep any damage if it lands on your threads. Okay, so let's go ahead and mount the screws on. Chuck key for this new one is the same as the other one, except it's got the Record Power green handle instead of black. Like a lot of precision tool parts that come overseas on a boat in a container that may be spending weeks at sea in salt water, I appreciate that they do put a coating of I'll call it grease, whatever, used to be Cosmoline type stuff. And you want to, in most instances, you're going to want to wipe that off with a little bit of paint thinner or mineral spirits. Comes with a woodworm screw, and I like using a woodworm screw. I think it holds real well for a lot of projects. It's got flats on it, and you just slip it behind and tighten it up. Get the flats lined up and pull it forward. And the woodworm screw extends out just a little bit further than their SC. As you can see here, they're SC4. In my mind, longer than it needs to be. I would normally wind up using a wooden spacer to reduce that, so you don't have to screw in quite as far. I would do something like that, maybe even more than one, depending on the project, because it doesn't need to be as long as they've got it made. I like the chuck removal wrench that comes with it. It fits into the scroll chuck opening, fits against it. Put on your spindle lock, and it will release it if there's any sticking. That's on the one side. The other side is really designed for their chucks with an insert, and it works just as well on those inserts, same way. Just use the other end of the tool. Well, let's look real briefly at their Versalock system. Very ingenious system. Mounts with a screw. You can leave the screw mounted in the chuck. You just slide it in and quickly tighten it in place. Normally I would not want to change chuck jaws on the lathe, because I have a tendency to drop the screw and have a hard time finding it. But this system works well because you just leave it in the chuck jaws, it looks like. I'm screwing it left-handed. It'd probably be faster if I did it right-handed. Only takes seconds, looks like. This is their 35mm long dovetail jaw inserts, and then you tighten them up. These jaws look like they'd work on a recess or a expansion or contraction. So these kind of jaws would be great for small spindle stock projects, like made out of square like this. You could just put in the corners, or possibly you've got round cylinders of appropriate size that it'll grasp it like this. And I notice all these jaws lock in place not only with this recessed screw, but also with the bevel here that the dovetail that matches the jaws that lock in on that dovetail. Now let's quickly look at one of the other jaw sets. And I won't bother to take the others out, but you can see it's got a small dovetail on the outside, and it's got straight on the inside, similar to the longer ones. And lastly, we have the dome jaws. Not every manufacturer has dome jaws, but it allows you to work very closely to the chuck much more safely, because you're less likely to engage the tool in the chuck jaws. Okay, that's my initial reaction to the new Record Power Victory chuck. I'd be interested in what your initial reactions are. Leave them in the comments below. Again, after I get more experience using this chuck and using these jaw inserts, I'll come back with a more in-depth video review. Remember, y'all stay safe. Come on back, you hear?